Hey all you Slashaholics, I am Slash Sister Jen, and welcome to Slash Sisters.
Well, if you're Slash Sister Jen, that makes me Slash Sister Hallie. If I gotta be, I gotta be.
Yes.
And we want to welcome you back to your favorite channel on the tube of you for horror movie reviews by true horror movie fans.
That's us, and you.
Yep, obviously if you're here.
And if you're new here, welcome. We do fun horror stuff here, and we don't want you to miss out on any of our crazy shenanigans.
Because shenanigans will be had.
Always. So make sure you slash that subscribe button so you keep up to date with all the stuff that we're doing.
Today we look at the debut film from Dark Castle Entertainment. We've already covered one film from them.
Yeah, we have.
But this is a production company that was formed with the intent to not solely remake William Castle.
I think that was what originally the
Well, I know that's
was,
where the name of it came from.
That's not what happened, though.
I mean, the first original story that they did was Ghost Ship, which we're going to be covering in a few weeks.
Yes, we will.
But they're started off doing William Castle remakes, which obviously included our previous film that we did, 13 Ghosts. House of Wax, which was from 2000, starring Jared Padalecki.
Yeah.
From Cry Wolf.
And Paris Hilton.
Yeah, but she took too long to die.
I know.
But they also did this one, the debut film.
So, what movie are we talking about, Hallie? I'm sure people can see it sitting here.
I would hope that they can. I mean, if it's in frame, right, camera woman? She nods. She nods, so yes. But we are going to be examining the 1999, yes, 1999,
that
25 years old. Fuck, I don't remember when this came out.
So old. I feel real old.
I think I have hernias that are older than that. But the remake that is House on Haunted Hill.
Yes, ma'am. This film features special effects from our good friends, Greg Nicotero.
I wish they were our good friends.
I know, oh my gosh. Greg, and then Robert Kurtzman worked on this as well.
Right, I just want to hang out with them.
I know, just like pick their brain
like a day, just one day.
Yes, absolutely. But also there was Dick Smith. Legendary Dick Smith. This was his last film that he worked on doing special effects before switching to teaching full time.
The only downfall about this film is the overuse of the CGI, though.
You know, I actually did some reading, especially when it comes to the entity at the end. They didn't use nearly as much CGI as you would expect, even though it looks very CGI.
It does. I actually know what you're talking about, and we'll get to that later. But the practical effect work is on display here with some pretty awesome effects achieved to help keep the CGI used in the film a little bit more grounded and more realistic. I wish it would have held up, though.
Yeah, I know.
Because it doesn't.
I know. I think the thing that's really, really cool is that now in current filmmaking here in 2024, you've got filmmakers that are still using practical effects and mixing it in with really well done computer graphics. And that makes for a really, really interesting watch. Like things like Evil Dead Rise.
Right.
You know, where where we got almost all practical effects, but when they did use some computer animating to do it together, it makes it look flawless. You know?
Right. Well, that and graphics now, at least
for
our eyes,
from 25 years ago,
are so much better. I'm sure 25 years from now, we'll be looking back on films released now and be like, oh my god, that's so fake.
I know.
But for now, it's as long as it's done right and done well and not overused, it looks good.
Yes, for sure. So let's go ahead and jump into this stylistic film. It definitely has some little quirks that park it right in 1999, for sure.
Oh no, definitely. Definitely.
But let's see just what it takes to make it through the House on Haunted Hill.
Mm-hmm. We start our story out in 1931 at the Vannicut Psychiatric Institute for the Criminally Insane, which is basically a prison. Kind of like the Bartonville Insane Asylum.
Yeah.
Where the sadistic Dr. Vannicut, a.k.a. Dr. Zeller at our asylum, performs crude surgeries and experiments with the patients. By the way, did you know that the original actor approached to play Dr. Vanica was not Jeffrey Combs?
Who was it?
Marilyn Manson.
Oh.
He had to unfortunately turn it down because scheduling conflicts and everything like that. But that is why when in present day, when everybody's arriving at House of Haunted Hill, his version of Sweet Dreams is being played while they're playing.
That makes
it was the way to honor him still being involved in the project.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome to our channel for the very first time, as Hallie just mentioned, Mr. Jeffrey Combs. It is his first time on our channel, and definitely will not be the last, because we've got some fun ones coming up very, very soon.
In fact, we have one coming up. The next movie we're doing, actually.
Yes.
Features Jeffrey Combs in a more prominent role than he is in this one.
Yeah, for sure. In this, he's really kind of just a cameo. He gets maybe 5 to 10 minutes of screen time at the most.
He's the only ghost that actually talks, though.
Yeah.
With the exception of the people that have died in the film.
Right.
We'll get to that.
So yeah, we get to Jeffrey Combs plays Dr. Vanica, and it's his first time on our channel. So
there's actually a deleted scene where he's playing another character too.
Oh really?
Yeah. Off topic here, and I may fast forward this. I don't care. But there's a deleted scene. Ali Lauder plays Jennifer Jensen.
Right.
Sarah.
Right.
Whatever. She's impersonating Jennifer.
Right.
Jennifer actually is brought to the asylum after they escape.
Right, and isn't she played by Debbie Mazar?
Yeah. But the agent that's showing her the house on Haunted Hill is played by Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, really? That's
so fun. It's a deleted scene that he's in that. I mean, it would have been fun to see it
I wish I would have seen that.
Because she's the only one that got away.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, but he's selling her the house. Mm. They're getting her. They're coming for her.
Yeah, but
that house wants it. The house wants what it wants. Right. Anyways.
The patients break out of their confines, but of course they do, because this is, the 1930s and they're not, strapped in.
Right,
or whatever.
Right.
And cause a revolt within the facility, resulting in a riot and an eventual fire that engulfs the entire building, killing everyone with the exception of 5 members of the staff who were able to escape. Honestly, the only reason why everyone died in the fire, except for those 5 people, was Vanica himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he locked them all in.
Because he said, if I'm going, they're all going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vanica seems like a real great person.
Yeah.
Anyways, we flash forward to present day, 1999, where we meet Evelyn Price, who is married to Stephen Price, an eternal prankster and owner of multiple amusement parks.
Evelyn Price is played by Famke Janssen.
Yes.
Stephen Price is played by Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush, yes.
Interesting note here, he actually got his name, Stephen Price, because of the late Vincent Price.
Right. Who played this original role in the first House on Haunted Hill. Yeah.
But, he was not supposed to have the mustache.
I know.
He was not supposed to have the mustache initially, but he wanted something to distinguish himself a little bit more, so he told the, makeup department to give him a mustache
John Waters mustache.
That looked like John Waters, unintentionally making him look like Vincent Price.
Exactly like Vincent Price. Yeah.
To when the director saw it, they were like, "Yep, that's it. You're keeping it.
You're keeping it." Too funny.
But Evelyn insists to Stephen that she have her upcoming birthday party in the supposedly haunted and long abandoned Vanica Psychiatric Institute. She sends a guest list to him. And she actually saw it on Weird and Strange or whatever, hosted by Peter Graves.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere
she's taking a bath and she sees this whole expose about the house and how it's supposedly haunted, and she's like, I need to have my party.
I read somewhere too that they initially wanted Christopher Lee to be the host of that show.
That would have been so cool.
Would have been so much better.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Right.
So later that evening, as Stephen is leaving his office, the guest list is mysteriously changed, and the invites are sent out to the new guests.
Yes, but after he had changed the guest list too.
Right. Because she gave him a guest list. He was like, I'm not inviting those people. So he's like, I'm going to invite these people. But then the guest list got changed by someone else.
Yes.
Apparently ghosts that can hack computers.
I mean, Pritchett explains it later. Next, we see the building's owner, Watson Pritchett, who actually grew up in the building. I'm sorry for him, is
at
the front gate waiting to bring in the rest of the guests to the party. And he is played by the comedic talent that is Chris Kattan before he retired from acting.
Oh, Chris Kattan.
He actually improvised the vast majority of his lines.
I was going to say, this film, I feel like, is very much probably how Chris Kattan is in real life. Like, not the paranoia and stuff from...
Not
like,
now, but...
Well, no, but, like, back then.
Right.
Where he was, like, kind of spaz and, like... But, like, I feel like he's just playing himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I mean, he played a lot of crazy characters on SNL, but in this movie, I feel like he's just playing himself.
Hey, guys, want some cookies? Quirky Ramona.
Right. 5 guests arrive at the party. Film producer Jennifer Jensen, baseball player Eddie Baker.
Former
baseball player. Former television personality Melissa Marr, who is trying to get her next television show. Physician Donald Blackburn, and then Pritchett himself.
Jennifer Jensen, who is not actually Jennifer Jensen, is played by Allie Lauder.
Yeah.
Eddie Baker is actually played by Taye Diggs. And Donald Blackburn's played by, what the hell is his name?
Peter Gallagher.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lots of great big name actors in this movie.
So many good actors in this. Seriously. Sure. Like, the only one that I did not know was the girl playing Melissa Marr.
The only thing that I recognized her from is she's Billy Madison's teacher in Billy Madison.
Oh,
the one with big.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, the guests are not the ones Price invited, and neither Steven nor Evelyn know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, they're not Steven's list, they're not Evelyn's list. Nobody knows who they are. Regardless, Price continues the party anyways, with the advertised theme, offering $1 million to each guest who remains inside of the house until morning. Anyone that leaves or dies forfeits their money to the remaining players, meaning there is $5 million up for grabs if you make it to the morning.
Which is a far cry from the initial 1959 version of this, where it was $10,000 per player, contestant, whatever.
Which, like, even adjusted for inflation, it's significantly more money.
It's massively more money in this movie. Adjusted for inflation, according to 2023 standards, it would be about $120,000.
Okay, yeah.
So about $120,000 in today's money.
So shy by like $100 or by like
$900,000,
$780,000. You know, no big deal.
The building's security system is mysteriously tripped, which covers all the doors and windows and locks everyone inside the house. Let's face it, this isn't a house.
It's not. It's a hospital.
It's partially actually a real filming location, or a real location. It was like an observatory.
Right.
And then they just like added everything on and post and everything like that. But it's very much like Art Deco.
For sure. The look of the building is very, very cool.
Right. It looks like something out of the 30s.
Yeah,
honestly.
for sure. Mr. Price blames the lockdown of the house on Evelyn, believing that she is behind everything that is happening.
But of course.
Evelyn and Steven have like a very, very volatile relationship. They both want to kill each other.
Yes, in fact, Steven actually mentions, let's not forget the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. That was exactly that.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Jim Jones was a cult leader that forced his entire cult to drink poison Kool-Aid. Yeah. 70 something. I can't remember the exact date. It was before I was born, but still.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Evelyn and Steven are literally at each other's throats throughout the entire film, trying to kill one another.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, that's pretty much the whole reason why they're there.
Yeah, pretty much. Jennifer, Eddie, and Pritchett go to the basement because Pritchett grew up there.
But he warns them not to go down there.
Yeah, he's like, you don't want to, like, this house is going to kill us all. I mean, as soon as the place locked down, he's like, all right, that's it. We're all dying here. Like, he starts freaking out pretty quickly.
Right.
He's like, the house is alive. Like, the house is the one who invited you guys. Like, he's the one who's, like, basically kind of telling everyone, like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, we're fucked. Anyways, they head down to the basement to try to find the controls for the security system.
I do love, as they're going down into the basement, the grotesque statuettes that are there, which weren't real for the film, but are based off of real artists that used real cadavers in his artwork.
Yeah.
If you know the scene that we're talking about, you understand what we're saying, but I mean it's a very eerie effect.
Yeah,
seeing
for sure.
Those things.
I actually went to, when I was in Vegas, I went to the body exhibit, which is they have taken bodies that were donated for scientific purposes, and they fill them with like polymer or something. I don't know, whatever they do. But then they like literally like dissect the bodies and they have them displayed and standing and all
kind
kinds
of like
this. Very similar to that. Yeah, and it is really cool to see, but also
very,
really creepy. Yeah. It was cool. Like I definitely I'm glad I went, but ooh, is it creepy.
While searching the basement, Jennifer confesses to Eddie that her real name is Sarah Wolf. Oh, I'm sensing a theme here in our last couple of videos.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, you're right. You're right.
And that she was Jennifer Jensen's ascot and had recently been fired. She had pretended to be Jennifer, hoping to win the prize money. I mean, I would have done the same thing, honestly, because Jennifer didn't.
Shortly after, Sarah sees what she thinks is Eddie in kind of a trance-like state, wandering around, and he jumps into this giant tank.
No, he falls in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's standing there and he just kind of slumps into it. Into this giant tank of blood. And she goes to try and save him and is nearly drowned in the tank. Like, something is pulling her into it.
All the while, the real Eddie is walking up to her and asking,
what the hell are you doing? Right? Like, what the fuck? But he does. He walks up just in time to save her and pull her out.
Right.
Melissa, the chick with the camera, ends up disappearing, leaving behind a massive trail of blood and a camera that shows a little bit of footage of what happened to her.
It also shows she was looking through the camera, and mind you, this is like an old
big
camera from like
1999.
Right. It's not like today where you have a camera in your fucking pocket. But yeah, so she's walking through and she ends up in the operating room.
Yeah.
And she sees Vanica.
Yeah.
Operating on something.
Yeah.
And
so
then she pulls the camera down and then they're not there, but then puts the camera back up and
she can see it on the camera. Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, I actually have a similar story of when I was out at Bartonville Insane Asylum.
Really?
Yeah. So after it was done being an asylum, they turned it into tuberculosis wards, specifically for children.
Right.
And I was walking around the building before it got torn down, and I had a camcorder up that I could see what looked like the silhouette of a little girl standing in the window. I took the camera down and it wasn't there. Put the camera back up and it was there.
Yeah. There's a lot of people have seen apparitions and stuff out at the Bartonville Hospital.
Well, not anymore. I mean, I don't know, because they built something else on top of it.
Well, but you never know. I don't think spirits go anywhere.
I mean, there was 4 cemeteries, and one of them got bulldozed over with buildings put up on top of it. I guarantee they didn't move all the damn bodies.
Oh, no.
Anyway, off topic.
Yes. So, yeah, she ends up disappearing. Melissa does, with a little bit of footage on her camera left behind. The camera is left behind.
Right. Price visits his assistant, who we have seen in a security room earlier in the movie. He is supposed to be managing the party's stunts, but finds him... What would you say? Like his face is scooped out?
Yeah, it looks like somebody took a big ice cream scoop and just scooped his face out.
Yeah, like his face is gone.
Hollowed.
It's like his skull is just hollow there. I don't know how it was.
I don't know how that was done. It was done off screen.
They're done off screen, which suggests that he didn't die. We established that rule in slashers.
Right? Yes.
Just kidding. Anyway, brilliant work here with practicality and everything.
Absolutely.
But I'm still curious as to what fucking killed him.
Yeah, and how that happened. Anyways, on the surveillance monitor, though,
Price
sees the ghost of Dr. Vanica walking around with a bloody saw, and
he doesn't know that it's a ghost, though.
Right.
Because he asked the party guests later,
who
the fuck is the guy in the lab coat?
Yeah.
I've been chasing all over this fucking place.
Yeah.
The group finds Evelyn strapped to an electric shock therapy table, and they watch in horror as she is shocked to death in front of them.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry about the cat in the background. She's still recovering from her traumatic surgery.
She just wants to be known. She wants y'all to know she's here.
Yep.
It's okay. Price pulls a gun on the guests.
Actually, he gave everyone a gun.
Yeah,
which is one of the few things that did retain over from the original.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. So he pulls a gun on the guests, demanding to know who killed his wife. Basically, he's like, one of you guys did this.
He's like, I didn't put her here.
Yeah.
She sure as fuck didn't put herself here, which leaves one of you motherfuckers killed my wife.
Right.
Anyway, Eddie knocks him out, and they take Price to the saturation chamber.
Yeah.
An archaic device that Vannicut used to treat schizophrenics. Basically, he felt that whatever would drive a sane man mad would drive a madman sane. And they lock his ass inside there.
And then Dr. Blackburn, who stays back to watch over Price, turns the damn chamber on, leaving him to be tortured by, like, moving images and ghostly hallucinations.
It's basically Vannicut bouncing a ball.
Yeah. It's creepy.
Right, okay, whatever. In Vannicut's office, I don't know how they ended up there. I mean, they show it, but I still don't understand how they, like, whatever.
There's a lot of moving around in the house.
Right, like,
really,
they're all exploring, trying to figure out stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, in Vannicut's office, Sarah and Eddie find a portrait of the hospital's head staff and realize that the party guests are descendants of the 5 survivors of the 1931 fire.
Right. So Pritchett figures that the spirits themselves were the ones that hacked the guest lists. Like, spirit hackers. They hacked the guest list on Price's computer. But the only exception is Blackburn, whose name does not appear among the staff.
Right.
Interesting.
In a disgusting scene, Dr. Blackburn is seen kissing and fondling Evelyn's body.
Blech.
Again, the Jenny Retching show.
Yeah, and just as soon as I'm done retching again, Evelyn comes to, kissing back Blackburn. Thank God. So I guess she wasn't dead. So I guess I don't have to retch for that one. I still did, though. I was like, ew, dude, gross. Don't be gross. Ugh.
I mean, the first time I watched this, I was a little freaked out by it, but now I'm so desensitized.
But even so, I was just like, that's one thing, like, somebody assaulting a dead body, like, that's one thing that really does.
Well, I mean, you know what they say, necrophilia. Kick back and crack open a cold one. I got that from a t-shirt long ago, okay? I'm not saying it's right.
She's not saying that's what she does. Although.
Not anymore. Although, these guys may have done it back in the day. Grey Robin USA.
For sure.
Whatever. It is revealed that Evelyn and Blackburn faked her death and plotted to frame Price for the murders, hoping the others would kill Price in self-defense.
Yeah. She even says, like, I think that Jennifer girl's close.
Blackburn. Blackburn says it.
Oh, Blackburn says that? Yeah. I was going to say, I knew one of them said, I think, she's ready. And sure enough, she is. Sarah finds Price covered in blood. Evelyn, actually, before that, Evelyn kills Blackburn.
Because she needs another bloody body with Price's fingerprints on it to push the people over the edge.
Yep, exactly. And then she lets Price out of the chamber.
Who is delirious.
Yes.
Because he was just suffered the torments
of saturation chamber. Yeah.
Sarah then finds Price covered in blood, and with Blackburn's severed head nearby, promptly shoots him in the chest, like, unloading the entire fucking clip.
She don't just shoot him; she shoots him off.
Like the entire clip, like you see the slide hammer pop back, and like she's still pulling.
And she's still pulling, yeah.
And Eddie's like, "Come on, give me the gun, baby girl.
Don't
give
look,
me the gun, baby
don't
girl."
look. Let's get
Why
you
did
upstairs.
he call her baby girl in that scene?
I think
I understand that's a black thing. Like for a black man to call his significant other baby girl, but they aren't even remotely close to dating.
Maybe by the end of the movie they are.
Well, I mean, trauma does have a way of bringing people together, but still.
Trauma bonding is the greatest.
Anyway.
Eddie and Pritchett arrive and bring Sarah upstairs. Everyone really is believing that Price is actually dead.
There's actually a continuity error here that has always bugged the fuck out of me. So, Eddie and Sarah have on, like, jackets or whatever. And there's a scene that's cut where, like, these arms are, like, the floor falls out and these arms are, like, grabbing him, trying to pull him under and everything like that. And, like, Eddie's jacket comes off in that scene, but it's cut. And then, so, like, the next scene after this, where he takes the gun...
He doesn't have the jacket.
He doesn't have the jacket on anymore. So it's something that's always bothered me for continuity purposes. And, like...
Because you don't see where the jacket
gets
right,
lost or anything like that. So, and they just kind of glossed over that. It's been done in many other movies. This isn't the first to do it. Jurassic Park actually did it with Ellie Sattler on the island and everything like that. She loses, like, her jacket or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, they're just hoping that we don't notice.
Right. But we do.
Yeah.
Because, one, we analyze movies, but two, it's very clearly they're not wearing the same thing. Anyway.
I also really like in the very beginning of the film when they first go down into the basement and Jennifer or Sarah, is going into that vat of blood. And, like, she's very clearly, like, been pulled in. And then they go up to the, like,
and
upstairs.
She's just got it, like, on her hands.
Yeah, she's got, like, a red shirt on. There's, like, nothing on her body. Like,
again, continuity error.
Yes, you clearly were not just almost drowned in a vat of blood.
Next, we see Evelyn saunter over to Price, gloating that she has won.
She really genuinely thinks that Jennifer / Sarah killed her. Or killed him.
And she would have.
Yeah, except that Price stands up and reveals the bulletproof vest that he was wearing that saved his life. And then proceeds to attack Evelyn.
And this is a knockdown, drag-out fight for the ages, honestly.
It is.
Evelyn is thrown into an old decaying door, which releases the evil entity, which captures her, killing her and incorporating her into the mass of other spirits from the house. So I do like how they utilize this entity, making it look like an old Rorschach.
Right. So, and what they did with this is they actually just, like, they shot multiple things and then layered it over on top of each other.
Not even multiple things. It was a naked woman dancing.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember the trivia correctly.
But then they layered
it, mirrored it.
So it was not CGI. Like, I remember going into this movie, I was like, oh man, the CGI at the end of the movie, shit, man, it looks so bad. Like, that's what I remembered.
It does.
That's what I remembered. But then it does so look fake. But going into it this time, knowing what to expect, but then knowing that that's how they did it, I had, like, a whole different respect.
Right, and honestly, if you pause it in certain frames, you can actually make out the women dancing.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like what they did. Does it look awesome? Not really.
At the time, yeah, it looked
great.
At
the time, it looked great. Yeah. I don't think it's aged well, but I think it's really cool that they did it the way that they did instead of using
straight
CGI.
CG. Right? Yeah, definitely.
For sure. So the darkness, as the entity is known.
That's completely unrelated to anything we're talking about. But if you know that band, you're welcome.
You're old too. The darkness, as the entity is known, turns to Price and tries to add him into its mass.
And he would have been added into the mass had Pritchett not opened the fucking door, and Price kind of falls out of this window, for lack of a better term. He doesn't fall completely, but he gets knocked back through this window, and the darkness just kind of sucks up Pritchett.
Yeah.
And Price is able to get away.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, like, good for
So I am a little conflicted with this scene, and we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But I'm conflicted as to how exactly this later scene happens after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Price tells Sarah and Eddie that the only escape is up through the attic, and meanwhile the darkness is seeping through the house, following them.
Do you think that's a play on the old horror trope? They should be running out the front door,
or running out the front door instead of going up the stairs. I actually had that actual thought as they were running up the stairs.
I just had that thought right now.
Scream.
Mm-hmm. Price opens a window in the attic, then he doesn't really sacrifice himself.
It's kind of like,
but I mean, he does get. I mean, the darkness consumes him.
Yes.
To give the others time to escape. Sarah gets out, but the darkness... Is that really the name that we have?
That's what it's called in all of the promotional stuff. The entity...
The darkness cuts the rope to the counterweight to the gate and drops, separating Sarah and Eddie. And Eddie's
so Sarah's
inside.
outside and Eddie's strapped inside, but as the darkness prepares to assimilate Eddie, he reveals that I'm adopted!
I shouldn't even be here. I was adopted!
Yeah. And not a true descendant of the original staff.
And this is the continuity there. I'm conflicted about this. So
I am too.
Pritchett was consumed by the darkness. But his spirit somehow appears and pulls
in
the
whole body, not
full body apparition,
separated from the entity.
Full body apparition pulls the rope to the counterweight that lifts the gate, and Eddie can get out.
Yeah.
So I'm confused as to how he was able to separate himself from the darkness entity and manifest himself when he is a freshly dead person.
Yeah.
In a full-bodied apparition to pull said rope to help them escape.
Yeah.
It's something that's always kind of bothered me about this film.
I get that.
Anyway, the darkness is distracted by Pritchett long enough for Eddie to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Pritchett's ghost and the darkness fade away as Sarah and Eddie watch the sunrise from the cement slab they are sitting on. High. Very high. On the side of the building.
So high. They find an envelope sticking out from underneath the window containing all 5 checks made out to cash. If you look closely too, the serial number on all the checks are matching. They're all the same.
So really? Yeah. Basically they have $5 million to split between the two of them, which is kind of freaking awesome.
Yeah, and so they
try to figure out that
they can't get down from there. And that is basically where this movie ends. We get a minor post-credit scene where we see the spirits from 1931 basically torturing Price for all of eternity.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. You weren't the greatest guy.
And
I'm hoping Evelyn's getting tortured too. She deserves it.
And there actually is a sequel to this. A low-budget direct-to-video direct-to-video sequel to this. Probably won't be covering that unless you all want to see it, and then we'll do it. But probably won't be.
We got better movies to talk about.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. There are so many good ones. Yes. Hallie, what are your thoughts on this movie? 25 years later, I'm still saying Bloody Machete up. It is greatly acted. It is. I love the story. I love the fact that it's taking place in an asylum when we had an asylum in our backyard growing up.
Literally, Zeller is my backyard. We walked up there to watch the eclipse. It's not Zeller anymore. It's a college, but...
Well, what was Zeller's.
That was actually Zeller. Yeah, my backyard was actually Zeller.
Right.
Zeller... Institute for the Criminally Insane, I think was what it was called.
Actually, it was called the Bartonville Institute for the Criminally Insane.
Right, but then when Bartonville closed, they moved to the location where they were on University, which is now a college. But that's my house is like.
And mind you, when that psychiatric hospital was turned into a college, they gave all the patients that were inside the boot.
Yeah, they just kicked them out.
Yep, put them out on the street.
They're like, guess what? We're closed. Bye. State of Illinois, baby. State of Illinois. That was a while ago, though.
Yeah.
Again,
10 years or better.
Yeah, but how long has it been since the state of Illinois has had a really, really good leader who doesn't do shady things?
30 years or better.
Anyways. For me personally, it is a soft Bloody Machete Up. It's a limp.
Fair.
It's limp. I like this movie. I think it has a lot of fun things to it. There's a lot of so many fun scenes. Like it's got like the weird, like the ghosts, like kind of
the movement of the
shaking,
ghosts, right?
And, yeah,
right.
like the
I
lights
honestly, I think this kind of pioneered that effect.
Yeah,
we see it a lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I love that aspect of it. I think the story is pretty good. There's at least some questions.
It's definitely better than the original story.
Right. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I mean it's a Bloody Machete but it's just a little limp-wristed.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that, but
I can just put my arm up here like this. Anyways, but yeah, so it's definitely not a movie that I would refuse to watch again or anything like that. Like if somebody was like, "Hey, you want to watch House on the Haunted Hill?" I'd probably be like,
"Which version?"
Right. Sure, why not? So, you already gave it a Bloody Machete Up.
Yeah, so I guess it's 2 Bloody Machetes up from us. One, I'm not going to say it, but yeah. I was going to say 1 hard, 1 soft. That's too phallic for my liking. That's too phallic.
I like it though.
Yeah, and I will cut that out. Cut it out!
Anyways, so what? Let's get this out.
Yeah, let's
throw it. You're good at throwing it.
Let's send this straight back to House on Haunted Hill.
Yes, ma'am. And what are we going to do?
Well, we've already hinted at the fact that we're going to be doing a film
with Jeffrey
Combs in it. So, and mind you, he's very prolific in the horror field.
He is. He's been in a lot of horror movies.
That being said, the movie that we are about to show you technically isn't even a horror film.
I guess technically not. Is it PG-13? It might be.
I believe it is PG-13.
Yeah.
I think there's only 1 F word in it.
But there is a lot of deaths. Quite a few.
There's quite a few deaths in it. And it is directed by legendary director Peter Jackson.
Yes.
In fact, after he did this film, with the technology that they had, that Weta had developed for the ghosts in this, he stopped and was like, what could we make with this, using this technology that couldn't be done before?
Yeah.
And that's when he got the idea to do Lord of the Rings. But the movie that we are actually talking about is the 1996 comedy horror classic that is The Frighteners.
I absolutely loved this movie growing up. Like, I watched it.
It was one of my favorite
It was
films.
on in my house pretty
regularly.
regularly.
Like, I remember, we had HBO when I was,
we did
when
too.
I was little, so every time it was on HBO, I was watching that non-stop.
Heck yes. There's so many good characters in the movie, but also really, really great actors in this movie.
Right. The biggest,
like Jake Busey and freaking Dee
Wallace
and Jeffrey Combs.
Combs.
Obviously Michael.
Yes, but Michael J. Fox actually had a problem. So him and there's another ghost character called the Judge that Michael J. Fox kept calling the Judge Doc. He just could not get out of that mindset.
Yeah, that's
the
funny.
older character, calling the older character Doc. Anyway, we will talk about that next week.
We're going to go all into it.
Right.
I cannot wait for you guys to hear about this movie. And make sure you watch it before you come back and watch with us and break it down next week.
Yes, watch it so we can put the Frighteners on you.
Yes. We'll put a little list down here of where you can watch it. Or, you can be like us and just go over to your DVD rack and pull it out in the old-fashioned way.
It's so nice having those on media.
It is.
It really is. Anyway, come back here 1 week's time when we dive into that. And until then, be sure to slash that subscribe button.
And stab the like button.
And ring that grave bell so you don't get lost in the mix and you can stay up to date on all of our videos on YouTube. Till then, we will see you all
in the afterlife.